Hello again and welcome back to another one. And today we have a couple of topics to cover as seen in the title, and we'll get right to it, starting with the latest from former Diddy artist B5. And this is not the first time that we covered a story on former bad boy artist B5, as a few years ago we got a lengthy post from one of the members detailing how they were caught up in some of the worst contracts in music. And now we get to hear some more from a recent interview on Hip Hop Wired, where they spoke about missing out on a deal with Disney due to the fact that Diddy was asking for too much from Disney. Check out a snippet from Hip Hop Wired.
So basically, we've been in the game for 20 years. Our first project dropped in 2005 with Bad Boy Records. It was a self-titled album called B5. The lead single of that project that people most known us for was from a record called All I Do, which we did with the Rodney Jerkins. And that record was like a remake of Troop and Jackson 5. And, you know, just from then, we've had different collaborations with great brands like Disney that you mentioned earlier. We did Hannah Montana soundtrack. We did High School Musical soundtrack. That's So Raven soundtrack. Disney Mania soundtrack, Punk's New Groove. And then we had standalone albums of our own. I think we just had an appeal to Disney. I think they really liked what we did. We're really talented singer, dancers. It was at a point where
all brothers.
Yeah, it was at a point where all of our records, well, not all of them, but like 9 records off our album were actually on the Radio Disney chart.
Yeah,
and
we had like six number ones or something like that.
Yeah, it was only
six
the only group or something like that ever.
We weren't signed to Hollywood Records, but yet our songs were like dominating the charts on Radio Disney. So of course we just continued that relationship and that collaboration, and that's where, you know, all those soundtracks came from.
They also wanted to give us a show too, but
They wanted to give y'all a show?
Yeah,
reality show.
Not a reality
Well, not a reality show actually, but
it was a reality show.
That sounded crazy.
They had a show idea locked in for us, but Bad Boy kind of shut it down.
So what happened with that was, because we were doing so much with them, they wanted us to sign to Hollywood Records. And they was like, yo, we're going to put a TV show behind you guys. You know, all these grand, beautiful ideas, but thing was we couldn't be signed to Bad Boy no more. We would have to sign to Hollywood. In order to sign to Hollywood, Puff wanted a certain amount of dollars for that, which Hollywood wasn't like, hey, we can't.
Shut it down.
That's a big check. You know what I mean? We could use all of that into this over here. So the show, the idea that we ended up creating them ended up getting switched over to another group. And they took the TV show, blew up, and that was the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of how that situation happened. And shout out to the Jonas Brothers. They used to like tour with us all the time.
Yeah, they were always cool guys, humble, and, you know, and just chill.
Yeah, they toured with us early in their beginning stages.
Yeah, and then they got that situation, and then, you know.
After that, yeah.
And of course, this was a roasting session for the most part, as Diddy was once again put on blast with takes like, what a freaking snake. Dude never wanted to see anybody do better than him. And like we've come to expect whenever we see these stories pop up, some Diddy defenders join the conversation to blame the quote victims. And this time around, we got some takes like B5 was subpar, and Disney and its vast resources would have invested if they truly valued the opportunity. Y'all, they would have paid. So essentially blame them for Diddy asking for too much money to do a deal with Disney, and some have expanded. Doubt it, Disney was kinda cheap when it came to TV and music. Plus Diddy did the same thing to Mace when 50 tried to sign him and 50 backed away. Now we got so many examples when it comes to former bad boy artists having negative things to say about Diddy for users to act like this was a one-off that's never happened before. And we got more from the Diddy defenders. Diddy ain't sabotage-ish. He had a price, and Disney didn't want to pay. That's it. And to this a user expanded with, Diddy still robbed them of their money. They never saw any of the Disney money they made because he took all of it. One of the members has said as a group, they never saw more than 10,000 when they were a part of Bad Boy, which they had to split amongst 5. And back in 2020, we covered a story of one of the members venting on their 15-year anniversary when he revealed, we made about 99.9% of all our income from live performances and merchandise. Until this day, I've never seen a penny from any of our B5 commercial albums. But give it up to people who choose to bury their heads in the sand all because they want to defend Diddy when it comes to these horrible deals that he locked his artists in. And some have concluded, I don't want to hear anymore they taking down a black man. When it comes to Diddy, these are 5 black men. Nobody cared when they got taken down, right? And some have now concluded, Diddy ruined so many lives. And as far as I know, Revolt never covered any of these stories or put Diddy on blast for what he allegedly did to the likes of B5. But all hell broke loose when it was time to write articles about Eminem attacking a black-owned business when Eminem said F Revolt on Bang. Talk about double standards. And moving on to the next point. Clearly, 50 isn't done with Lil Meech, even after the fallout that happened as a result of Big Meech linking up with Rick Ross. And 50 recently shared a snippet from a TMZ interview with Lil Meech.
Where I'm from, everybody needs rehab.
Yeah. And 50 sent out a warning. Eyes emoji. He from private school, never been in the street.
I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook. That's a private school.
He from private school, never been in the street. Facepalm emoji. Lil Meech gotta stop using the drugs. It is so dangerous out here. He didn't hear them say cut. And this has gotta be 50 implying that Lil Meech is still playing a character. And this sparked reactions like the private school kids be needing rehab more than anybody, access to way more drugs. And while the timeline was laughing for the most part, some have expanded with, poor child thinks he's Big Meech. And based on the comments he made about rehab, some have expanded, I'm from where he's from and I never needed no freaking rehab. And now we got users out here quoting E40. You heard E40, wanna move my kids up out of the hood and spoil them rotten. But in the suburbs, they've got drugs like Oxycontin. And like 50 Cent concluded, he didn't hear them say cut. And moving on to the next point. While rappers and fans were reacting to the 1-year anniversary of Not Like Us, that was pretty much a victory celebration of Kendrick Lamar defeating Drake in the battle, we got a snippet from a Drake associate who revealed Drake has been working on a solo album. Check out a snippet that hit the web a few hours ago.
Brother, I'm telling you, I seen him the other day. We're at a party, and he was in the other room by himself eating pasta with, you know, the wired headphones, the old headphones? Billionaire having the wired headphones, so he had the wired headphones eating pasta, writing music. While we have a whole fucking party going on, so like, he's on a different mode right now still. Even at the Nokia video shoot, while he was done in the breaks, he had a bunch of producers that he was just recording. So like, he's in that crazy mode right now still. You see his caption that the man's talking and shit because he's in that mode right now.
And boy, this fueled a roasting session of Drake. Some users expanded with, yeah, we don't care what his propaganda minions have to say. This is the same dude that made Lil Yachty publicly say that he was unbothered. The dude's probably partying while his sweatshop slaves are doing the real work. And this is a reference to the interview that we covered a few months back before the lawsuit hit, where Lil Yachty revealed that Drake was unbothered by the battle that happened.
Outside of the people who care about hip-hop, bro,
nobody gives a fuck
at all.
They just want to party. There's some beautiful girl they want to dance with,
and they want to dance to Drake.
Yeah,
God's plan's gonna come on,
and then you're gonna fucking dance to it.
Yeah, he didn't give a fuck.
Only for him to sue a few months later, and more in response to the news that he's actively working on some new music. Another user expanded with, watch it sound washed, just like all the washed rappers writing with him. Old bump flows trying to convince me that you they favorite. And we even got some essays with suggestions of how Drake could turn this around. As a user expanded with, the biggest criticism most people have had about Drake's music is that it hasn't matured. I hope Drake really raps about the year he's had and shows depth. I do not want him to waste the opportunity rapping about money and strip clubs. It will outsell whoever, regardless. But the thing about Drake's music is that the people that criticize it for not maturing aren't typically Drake fans. And when you ask 10 people to explain what qualifies as mature raps, you'd get 10 different answers. As we got some people who want Drake to become an activist rapper. But overall, I'll be looking forward to your thoughts on this take. And some have expanded. No weak bomb love song singing bullcrap. My dude, just rap. And I think this is a more accurate interpretation of what more rap fans want from Drake. A little less singing and a little more raps. But overall, I'll be looking forward to your thoughts. And moving on to the next point, we saw some interesting looks from the Met Gala. Like this one, for instance, from Future, who debuted a new look. However, it was Andre 3000's look that sent shockwaves across social media platforms when he appeared looking like this. And while on one end it sparked reactions like, I swear I would never in a million million years. Wanna go hang around these weird bomb celebrities? On another end, we are seeing Andre 3000 get hit with the clone allegations, as some have expanded with, ain't no way that's the same Andre 3000 from back in the day. I'ma say he a clone, laughing emojis. And some have pulled up one of the classic looks from the Met Gala, and they've expanded with, this is what happens when no one tells rich kids no. But apparently there's more to this, as you'd see in a moment, as while some users are here pondering, gotta wonder what's going through their heads when deciding on outfits, and more alluding to the world of the Hunger Games. This is the kind of ish people at the Capitol would wear in Hunger Games. In Andre 3000's case, there's more to this, as the outfit is also the reference of his latest project, 7 piano sketches that dropped a few hours ago on streaming platforms. An EP with 7 songs, and this time around, he's not playing the flute, and like the name suggests, it is a piano this time around. So we got another project without raps from Andre 3000, and it is hilarious to see some posts blow up like this. Is he rapping on here? Someone let me know before I press play. So for those expecting a rap project from Andre 3000, they are gonna have to wait a little longer. And we got some Eminem fans out here who play a little too much, as upon seeing the outfits at the Met Gala, we got some takes like, I don't know, but low-key I feel like Eminem would eat at the Met Gala. Oh, man. Loudly crying emoji. Like seriously, he cleans up nice. Too bad he hates being outside. And if you ask me, this is one of the few cases where I prefer if Eminem stayed inside. But over to you guys, that will be all for today, and I'll be looking forward to your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe for more, and see you on the next one.